this property, I do not think. More likely down Corbin Lane, you know, when we go back to the cemetery, or either across the road on the Parker Lane now. It may have been a house there. I can't get that definite. But anyway, she writes, I was seated on top of the gatepost, some man's arm holding me. It could have been Father, for he was there with a white bandage wound around his poor wounded head. Remember, he had been wounded at Swift Creek. So it may have been his condition that they decided not to go. It may have been his sister was nearby, and her husband was gone, and his mother. Maybe it was just too much to take everybody. 3 Yankees rode right up to the little group. Such splendid horses and trappings, handsome uniforms, and fine-looking men. Well, they dismounted and tried to be polite. Mother held Father by one arm, while the Yankee colonel patted him on the other, telling him what to do. Nobody knew what was going to happen next. Enemies scattered all over creation. The officers with their, and she says 16 shooters, but there were no 16 shooters. I've been told it was probably 7 rounds in these. The leader insisted on Father exploring the mechanics of his. Mother was clinging to the arm that had never failed him. There was a commotion. A woman screaming, "Oh, Dick is dead. My darling is dead. What shall I do?" She was one of the white tenants. Her husband had been sent home sick. They were destitute, but clean and straight. Everyone felt sorry for the grief-stricken woman, but were afraid to move or speak. Those Yankee soldiers told Father not to leave his dooryard, then looked around. Our little cousin Becky stepped forward. "I'll go and help her," she announced. Instantly, that officer called a soldier to his aid. "You take charge of them, ladies. See that no harm befalls them. Do what you can for them." There was no hesitation. That federal soldier stepped up and offered his arm to the little lady. There was a small pond with footlogs. That Yankee placed his charge on the footlog, held her by the arm, and waited along beside her. "There now, beat that if you can. It's true, I was there." And she tells a little bit more about it. One bitterness she had is in this story. And this is written like she's telling it to her children. "That old devil told his minions to leave nothing but earth and sky. No wonder he died with cancer on his tongue. Those vultures took our pony, lifted him into an army wagon, and bore him off to Washington. They carried some of the blacks, I'm going to change the word there, along, but nearly everyone crept back in less than a year. And each one told the same tale about our pet. Now here is the bitterness. Old Grant's children, when he was in the White House, rode this little animal, drove him, exploited him as a special find from South Carolina. And several pictures came out in the various magazines. Grandpa had them. And some of you may want to research the Washington papers of that period for a picture of the pony that came from South Carolina, from the Goodies. Why this is kind of important to look at this year is because this is 150 years since it took place. And historians have really been on it left and right. And I had a very good historian who I definitely disagreed with. But he gets a grant and he's making money and he's working with the archives in South Carolina. Tell me that you couldn't look at these stories of these children who experienced this. That it was much better to go to the records, what the Union soldiers wrote. Well, any of you experienced any trauma in your life as a child, you remember it. And I feel certain that these stories are stories that were true. And to have them discredited at this time would be a pity, because you will hear that none of these things happened. But it's repeated over and over and over and over through stories. And we did a full day tour, so we've given you just a little bit of we took around 120